Good morning, Cedar Valley. This is Teresa Nikas. Welcome to Quiet Echo. A handwritten letter arrived on my desk last week. The envelope was addressed in the careful, looping hand of someone who does not write by hand often. The stamp was put on slightly crooked. The return address was a town in Ohio I have never been to. Inside, 3 pages of unlined paper, written front and back, told me what the writer had been thinking about for the past month. She is 26 years old. I have been an editor long enough to know what mail a small paper gets. Most arrive by email now. The handwritten ones still coming are usually from readers in their 70s and 80s. A letter from a 26-year-old on real paper in a real envelope with a real stamp is a different thing. I read it twice. I have been thinking about it since. The writer is not alone. Papier, the stationery company, reports note card sales up 33% year over year in 2025. Writing paper up 23%. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution covered the trend in April. The Boston Globe and CBS 19 covered it the same week. Pinterest has tracked surges in searches for snail mail, pen pal ideas, and handwritten letters. The growth is driven against every prediction the major outlets would have made about this generation by millennials and Gen Z young people writing letters by hand and posting envelopes to TikTok at the same time. Most of the coverage has framed it as a wellness trend, screen fatigue, the analog turn, a nice little story about young people rediscovering paper. I want to say what I think the trend actually is. A ton of cork in a Pittsburgh warehouse in 1912 was cheap. Cork was an ordinary commodity, harvested in Portugal and Spain, shipped to Pittsburgh and Liverpool, processed into bottle stoppers and gaskets and life jackets. The Titanic carried more than 3,500 Fosbury and Company life belts, 12 squares of cork in each. A ton of cork on the deck of the Titanic at 20 past 2 in the morning on April 15th would have been something else, valueless. The cork did not change. The location did. Scarcity sets price. Anything everywhere and easily had costs nothing. The same thing in a place of desperate need is worth whatever the desperate are willing to pay. And the same thing in a place where there is no buyer at all is worth nothing, no matter how badly someone needs it. Attention used to be cheap. It was the air. There was nowhere else to put it. A child playing in a yard had her father's attention because nothing on a screen was calling for it. A wife reading the paper at breakfast had her husband's attention because no notification was arriving on a phone. A neighbor on a porch had whoever was sitting on the porch because no other porch on the planet was a thumb tap away. Attention was abundant. We did not value it because we did not have to. Then the supply collapsed, not because attention got scarcer, because the locations competing for it multiplied. Notifications, algorithms, the endless scroll. Economists call it the attention economy because attention is the commodity now being rationed. The companies who own the platforms have made hundreds of billions of dollars by harvesting it. What rises in price when supply collapses is what was the air a generation ago. The young people writing letters by hand are not nostalgic. They are economists. They are pricing the commodity correctly, perhaps for the first time in their lives. A handwritten letter is attention made physical. 40 minutes to write, 10 minutes to address, 8 minutes to walk to a mailbox, 3 days to arrive. Almost an hour of one person's full and undivided focus made into an object, sent across a country to land in another person's hand. The note card sales are pricing it. I want to say one more thing before I close. A handwritten letter has a property the digital version does not. It cannot be skimmed. The reader has to slow down to read it. The reader has to hold it. The handwriting, careful or hurried or beautiful or barely legible, carries the writer in a way no font can. The smudge where the pen pressed too hard. The crossed out word the writer chose to leave visible rather than rewrite. The quality of the paper. The smell of the envelope. All of it is part of the message. None of it is in an email. When a person opens a letter, they are receiving more than the sentences. They are receiving evidence of an hour of someone else's life, given freely, sent across a distance, addressed to them by name. The recipient becomes, briefly, the most important location in the world to the writer. The price of being someone else's most important location is no longer cheap. I will tell you what was in the letter on my desk. The writer had read a column of mine from October, almost 7 months ago. She had been carrying it with her. Something in it had landed in a way she wanted to tell me about. She had not gotten around to writing for 6.5 months. Then, one Saturday, she sat down with 3 sheets of paper and wrote me a letter. I had forgotten the column entirely. I had to look it up. What she wrote did not change my life. What she did change something. She had decided I was worth an hour of her attention, made into an object, sent across a country with a slightly crooked stamp, to land in my hand on a Monday morning 7 months after the column she was responding to. She did not know if I would still be at this desk. She did not know if I would read it. She did not know if I would write back. She wrote anyway. There is someone you have been meaning to write to. You know who they are. They do not know it is coming. Sit down today and write it. The mailbox is on the corner. The price is 1 stamp. Cedar Valley News has a Facebook group. There is a conversation going on. If you want to join us, tell us about the letter you wrote this week, or the one you got. I will put the link in the show notes. This is Teresa Nikas, your host for today's Quiet Echo. Thanks for listening. Quiet Echo is part of the fictional Cedar Valley News series, written by Evan Swenson, publisher, publication consultants, and Claude Marshall, AI developmental editor. While the people in town of Cedar Valley are fictional, the Papier sales figures, Pinterest data, the cited reporting from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Boston Globe, and CBS 19, the historical facts about cork manufacturing in 1912, and the Fosbury and Company Titanic life belts are real.
You've been listening to the Cedar Valley News Podcast, where small-town voices meet the headlines shaping our world. From faith and family to front porches and fields. We'll be back with more stories connecting real lives to real events. Until next time, keep your porch light on, your faith strong, and your heart open. This is Cedar Valley News.